You guessed it. When the big bowl's out, Miss Martha's fixing to make biscotti. What kind's it going to be today? Well, I love taking our favorite desserts, which now, as an older couple now, and with my son, all of us, we're trying to be more fit in life, and you don't always burn off the calories that you want to burn off, and you don't always eat right, so I don't really make desserts when I cook dinner. We don't really have, but in the 60s growing up, you always had your dinner and you had a dessert. Whether it was even if it was just a congealed salad, you had a dessert. Even if it was just a scoop of vanilla ice cream with Hershey's syrup on it, it was a dessert. So it was just something that was done back in the day. But we always had fancy desserts sometimes when Mama felt like baking. So we would have carrot cake, pecan pie, lemon meringue pie, lemon pie. I have made a lot of those childhood favorite desserts. I have transformed them into my healthy biscottis, which are more like a protein bar than they are a dessert, because they're full of collagen powder, protein powder, flax seed, hemp seeds, and I could go on and on and on with the nutritional ingredients, but we'll get to that when we're going through the whole ingredients of the bake here. But today, I am transferring one of our favorites, carrot cake, into biscotti. So let's run through the ingredients real quick, because I've already got them organized out here on the counter. There's always going to be a wet bowl, a dry bowl, an add-in bowl, and then there's a little sprinkle topping that goes on before it's baked. And if they do have an icing drizzle, then there's another bowl for the icing drizzle. And these, what would carrot cake be without cream cheese frosting? So we're going to have a drizzle on these today. If you're not a fan of carrots, don't worry about it. Don't even tell your children that there's vegetables in it. They'll just think it's spice cake, because that's what it's going to taste like, pumpkin spice cake. Okay, so you won't even notice the carrots. If you're not a fan of carrots, don't change the channel. Stay tuned with Miss Martha here. So let's run through what we've got. I've got a carrot juice, baby food carrot, strawberry protein drink, banana milk, peanut oil, eggs, sugar. Now that's our wet ingredients. I have optional because I want everybody to look at it and know right firsthand as soon as they glance at it that it's carrot cake. I might have to use some red and yellow food color. I'm not sure yet. We'll wait and see once I start mixing the ingredients up. For our dry ingredients, obviously, plain flour, pumpkin pie spice, baking powder. I've got protein powder, and I've got collagen powder. And you'll notice they might not always be the same ones that I'm using, because it's what I can find in the store, and it's what's on sale, and it's what has the nutrition that I want to add to the bake. We also have flax seeds. I have the super seeds, which are chia, flax, and hemp seeds. I've got nutritional yeast. We've got powdered milk, a tinge of salt, and we've got butterscotch pudding mix. So that's our dry ingredients. For our add-ins, we have the little white chocolate chips and the butterscotch chips, as well as walnuts. So that's going to be the add-ins into it. Now, once you have made the dough and you have made it into the loaves, and it's on the parchment lined baking sheet, and before it goes into the preheated ovens at 330 degrees, you have to do your little biscotti topping on it, which is always a coarse sugar, coarse salt. We won't make it until once they're into the bake, because it's kind of an involved bake. You have to make the loaves, you bake them one time, they come out, the next tray goes in, because I don't do a single batch. I do sometimes a double, triple batch, because we like to share with everybody when I bake. If I'm going to heat the house up, I might as well heat enough to send love throughout the countryside. So while everything is cooking, we'll do the icing later in the bake. But we've had, for cream cheese, we've got the little brown sugar, cinnamon flavored cream cheese, and we've got the cinnamon sugar flavored butter. Powdered sugar. There'll also be a little tinge of salt and maybe a little drip of water in that, try to get it the right consistency so it's a drizzle and not a frosting. So if you'll go get yourself a cup of coffee, you'll give me a minute to separate the things, get them into the bowls, and then we'll start adding. You wonder why the largest bowl is for the wet ingredients, even though the larger amount of ingredients is the dry ingredients. It's because the dry ingredients has to go into the wet bowl, and then the add-ins have to go into the wet bowl, and then so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. So as you're making the dough, it's all going to end up in the largest bowl. So that's why that bowl's for the wet ingredients. I'll be right back. I'll pause the video for a minute and get everything organized here. See you in a minute. All right, just going to touch base with you here. I'm mixing all the dry ingredients in the bowl here. Let's show you. We have our add-ins ready to go. I've assembled the icing, but I haven't made that yet. This is a little sprinkle topping that goes on the loaves before they're baked. Let's see if I can lift it. I didn't eat the food coloring. Look how pretty that is with just the carrot and the carrot juice. So these are the liquid ingredients. So I'm gonna finish mixing together dry ingredients, and then we'll start adding that into the wet bowl, mixing it. Now you want the dough, the consistency of the dough is going to be in between a slice and bake cookie and pancake batter. It's got to be a little bit moist, more so toward the, not as hard as a slice and bake cookie dough, not as runny as pancake batter, closer to the cookie dough batter, so that the add-ins will stick. If your dough is too hard, all the ladders, when you try to slice it and finish making the loaves, they just start falling all outside and scattering and running off trying to escape. So we'll pause another minute. Let me get rocking and rolling, and he'll start to make the dough. Well, this is going to be a long process of putting it from here to here. This is a fun part for me of making the biscotti. The smells, the activity, the control, the structure, the environment. I love cooking. And it seems like I'm in the kitchen so long because there's a 45-minute bake. Then that one has to cool. The other tray's going in. That's a 45-minute bake. You're slicing the first tray that's cool. That goes back in for a 40-minute. So you got like 4 hours that you're in the kitchen here, but I'm not doing stuff the whole time. When they're baking and the camera's paused, I can take the little dogs and we can go back and play for a minute. Not today when it's like 100-degree heat index, but if I didn't get these baked today, the temperature's never going to get down cool enough to bake the house, to heat the house up when you're baking. So I wanted to go ahead. My husband misses not having the collagen because it does make a difference, make his knees feel really less painful or don't even hurt at all when he takes when he eats the dessert bakes biscottis that I make for him. So we'll be back in a minute. Let me keep mixing together the dry into the wet. Okay, I'm checking back in to let you see this is the texture that you want for your biscotti dough. Now we'll do the add-ins. Everybody's got one of these Tupperware bowls that were born in 1960s. Okay, it's a matter of working this into a dough, and then we're going to dump it out onto a floured surface, and we're going to shape it into the loaves, and then we'll transport it over to a parchment-lined baking sheet. It will go in the oven. It will bake for 45 minutes at 330 degrees. Take it out to cool. It's like in case I get flustered here and I hit the wrong button and I stop the video instead of pausing it. I'm old. Okay. Guys, watch out the bowl as I can get it. Now I have this mound of dough here that I've got to shape into the loaves. Get it over my parchment lined baking pans, and I'll sprinkle it with the little coarse sugar, coarse sea salt. So we'll pick back up in a few minutes. Oh, see if I can lift it. Okay. So I've got the first pan, the loaves are on it. I've got this to do the loaves for the next pan, but go in the spoon. Spoon. We'll take our cinnamon sugar mixer and put it on the pan. It's ready to go in, and then we'll put these in the oven to bake. I'll scatter that across, put that in the oven to bake for 45 minutes. While that's baking, I'll make the other loaves here. I just took the dogs out. He's got me flustered. Did I say cinnamon sugar? It's sugar salt. Okay, first tray still in the oven baking. So I got the second loaves made. They'll also get the coarse sugar salt topping before they're baked. I'll spread that out equally, and I'll pat that in on all of them. We'll just pick up doing the icing drizzle. Give me a second. Okay. Depending on how bad my arthritis feels in my hand, I might be able to stir this by hand and mix it in, or I might have to get out the electric mixer. So let me go ahead and dump the ingredients into the bowl. Yeah, I think I will be okay just mixing this by hand. Okay, now remember, we're not making cake frosting, we're making a drizzle to go on top of them. So this is about the consistency that you want. Okay. A side treat unboxing video. Have you ever had one of those days When you order stuff off Amazon, you forgot what you ordered. What did I order? I wasn't expecting anything today. Oh, ha, ha, ha. My father's middle name was Kermit. And as I got a little bit older, we realized we remembered Kermit the Frog, so I started collecting frogs. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? Okay, I was getting ready to beep, so we're going to take out the first tray. We'll put the second batch in. Timer. Get up, puppies. Woo. Beautiful they look. First batch out. Second batch going in. Get my pot holder to close the tray. Reset the timer. 45 minutes. This is where I have a little free time in the day because I can't even touch these. These have to cool for at least 25 minutes before I even try to take them out of the pan and try to slice them, or they'll just crumble. Okay, so these have to cool thoroughly before you slice them. And make sure you have a really nice sharp knife to cut your biscotti. And then they'll go back in. We'll lay them down sideways on the tray so they're not touching. Sometimes you might not be able to fit them all back in on the pan. You might have to use, do 2 trays worth. That just means longer time in the kitchen. Because you gotta have 45 minutes. That was right. They just went in 45 minutes, and then when these cool, we'll slice those, put those back on clean parchment paper. They'll bake for 45 minutes. But I'm in between everything right now. I think I'll sit down, get off my feet for a second, watch a little Murder, She Wrote. So I'll pick back up with you. Here's a treat for those who've stayed with me through the bake. I'll show off my most recent painting. It's entitled Lure. Biscotti is 9 months old now, and he's still just 4 pounds. Did you trip over the mic? Oh, I've got, oh, yeah, hit me up in Lean Cuisine for lunch. It's my lunch break. Okay, so we're slicing the first tray. Transport them over here. Baking pan, because you'll have to go in for a second bake. They're fragile at this stage. They'll never fall apart. Here we go. Okay. I'll finish slicing these up. By that time, it will beep. Take the other tray out. They'll be sliced. This tray will be full. We'll go in for a second bake. When they finish their second bake, then we'll drizzle on the icing. But my video is running long, so I'm gonna go ahead and probably stop the video here, because I'll just make the thumbnail be the finished product. But I've done lots of these, dozens of the classic desserts turned into healthy biscotti. So it's just a process from this point in time. It's just another 45 minutes bake on this, another 45 minutes bake on that. So there's more time. I can't just leave the camera paused forever in here. So thank you for watching. God bless. I hope you'll look through the other recipes on Miss Martha Loves to Cook digital cookbook page at YouTube. There are a lot of nice things in there. There even some vegan stuff.